Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Susie the Peruvian Cook. Today we are making pescado a la chorrillana. So you might be asking yourself, why is she in the garden if we're going to be making fish? Hey. Getting a little handsy there, Mr. Grapeleaf.
It is a Chardonnay grape.
I know. These guys who like Chardonnay too, I don't know about them. My husband loves Chardonnay. Anyway, so what is Chorrillana, first of all? Chorrillana is from a district in Peru called Chorrillos. And so the type of pescado de Chorrillana that I'm making today is from that district, and it's how they make it in that district from Lima, Peru. But the reason we're in the garden is because it has these gorgeous tomatoes that's in the dish. And that's exactly why we're here, because my husband grows these heirloom tomatoes. They are absolutely gorgeous. And every January, he spends all his time with these tomatoes. And it makes me a little jealous because he's spending all this time with his tomato seeds and he's nursing them and he's growing them until they get to about this big, and then he plants them, gets them ready to plant into the yard. And he says that he spends more time with his tomatoes in January because they love him more than I do.
They do.
Yeah, este muchacho. Okay, so we are going to pick a couple of gorgeous tomatoes real quick, and this is going to be for our dish today. So let me grab these guys. These ones, as you can see, they're gorgeous, but they're not quite ready. And I want to get these before the skunks and the raccoons get to them. Okay, and here's another one. And look at that one. That is like, oh my goodness, is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to take just one more little one. Let's see. Let me look over here. Well, I didn't mutilate it too badly, but it was actually pinned in the stalk over here. What is this thing called?
A cage.
A cage. It was pinned in the cage. Okay, so it's okay. We'll make her beautiful again. Okay, so we're going to take a pause real quick, and we're going to go back into the kitchen, and we're going to make up these beautiful tomatoes in the pescado a la chorrillana. Pescado a la chorrillana. And what that is it's fried fish, which I'm going to show you how to do. And it is, we fry the fish, we put it on the side, so that part's going to be done. And then to make the sauce, which goes over the fried fish, we are going to use ananato oil. What is that? Well, it is made from ananato seeds. And what we do is we're going to put it in a little pot with the oil, and you're actually going to be able to see the red coming off the ananato oil. And we're just going to do it low and slow. So I'm going to show you how to do it, but I already have some ready that I made a couple of days ago. And it's going to look like this when we're done. So we're going to use that for the sauce. So we're also going to use salt, pepper, paprika, cumin, tomato paste, red wine vinegar. We're going to fry onions, ají amarillo, and of course, we got our gorgeous baby girls from the garden.
What do you do if you can't find ají amarillo?
Okay, if we can't find ají amarillo, you can use serranos. But I prefer that you use like a serrano that is turning orange or turning red, or red jalapenos. Sometimes the jalapenos are not quite as spicy as the serranos, but that could be a good thing if you don't want it too spicy, and that's fine. These gorgeous babies were actually frozen. So I am growing ají amarillos, or excuse me, my husband is growing ají amarillos for me, but they're not ready yet. They're still.
Why don't you?
I know. I take a credit wherever I can. So the ají amarillos are still kind of green and they're not ready yet. But this one you can find at a lot of Latina stores or Hispanic stores have this, and it's frozen. But look how gorgeous they are. I mean, this is how mine usually look, but they're just not ready yet. And these were nice and big, so I'm going to use two. But this is how you're going to find it. Okay? Did I get focused? Okay. All right, good. So that's that. Now, normally I would put 2 large red onions, but today they're kind of small. They're beautiful, but they're a little bit small, so I'm going to use 3. So now we have our onions, and I'm going to show you how I want it cut. a suggestion, obviously. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I like to cut them on a little bit wider. You see, like that. Okay, so then I'm going to go here, 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 and then on a bias here. Okay? And we want them kind of fat. Fat is beautiful too. Okay, there we go. You see? So now they're kind of wide looking. Okay, that's perfect. Now we're going to do our tomatoes. And when I make this dish, I like to have everything ready ahead of time. It just makes it a little bit easier so you're not like, you know, taking out the paprika and taking out the cumin and everything.
Because it goes together pretty quick.
It does go together very quick, and that's what I love about it. So this one kind of got knocked up a little bit because she was pinned.
My tomato.
You're assaulted your tomato. Okay, so then we're going to just slice this up. And it depends on how saucy you want it. I'm going to keep the seeds because I want it to release a little bit of fluid. In some dishes, you know, they take the seeds out because it creates too much fluid. But I actually want that in this dish. And I'm just going to cut them in large sections.
Similar cut to the...
Similar cut to the onions. Yes, exactly. Now we are all ready to go. We're going to go back over to our stove, and I'm going to show you how to make the ananato oil first, and then we're going to fry the fish. So I'm going to start off with medium-high. I'm going to put my seeds in and my oil at the same time. I'll make it work. Okay. So I turned it down to medium. And as you can see, what we're going to do is you're just going to bring that oil up till it gets really warm. You know, I don't want it boiling, but I want it just a little tiny, you know, a couple bubbles coming up from the oil. So what's happening here is you can already see it start to change color. So I only have it on medium to bring it up to the temperature, and then once it starts to create a couple little bubbles, I'm going to turn it on simmer. And it only needs to simmer like 10 to 15 minutes because you don't want the ananato seed to get crispy or brown, because then it's going to be like a bitter taste. So, you know, don't go leave and do laundry or go do something else. You want to stay and watch it. Just like when you're toasting the nuts, you don't want to go do something else. You want to keep an eye on it. But you can see here the liquid.
Did we toast nuts in this episode?
No. That's right. It was a different episode. Sorry. That was pesto. Anyway, you can see the color starting to change. And I'm starting to get a couple little bubbles here and there coming up. I'm sorry, but I do need to move it.
Oh, look at the color there.
And the color really starts to come off. So, the reason I love to use this oil when it's done like this is because it just adds a beautiful color as well as a beautiful flavor. And when it's mixed with the red wine vinegar, it's just wow. It's like Shazam. It's just fabulous. Okay. But what we don't want is because our seeds are sitting at the bottom, we don't want them to get too brown. So it's only been a couple minutes. But we don't want our seeds to turn too dark. Okay. Now you can see the color starting to come in. So now you can really see the color start to come out of those ananato seeds. And can I lift it? Okay, you can really see that color starting to come out. So we're just going to leave that. Now we're going to, from this point, we're going to leave it about 10 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to turn it off and put it aside. And we're just going to let it cool completely. And it's going to take on more oil. It's going to take on more of that color. So I'm going to put it back over here. And then we're going to bring our oil over here from our fish, because our oil is nice and hot. So my flour has freshly ground pepper, and salt. About 3 teaspoons each.
That's a tablespoon.
Really?
Yeah, 3 teaspoons.
You expect me to do math now too?
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Let me get that oil back hot again. Now this is like about 2 cups of oil. It is grapeseed oil. And I like to put the handle over there so I don't actually tip anything over. I'm not that much of a klutz, but you never know. Well, there's an idea. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. Okay, so now we're going to put our fish in here, and I'll show you where I got my fish. I actually got it at Walmart, and it's tilapia, and we're just going to put them nice in there. Put the flour, judge it with the flour, and just drop it in very gently.
Nice job dropping away from you.
Thank you. You always drop away from yourself. I would not recommend having babies or little fur babies around while you're doing this. And mine's down there staring at me. But she should be out of here. And there we go. Okay. And we're just going to kind of we're going to put it on the tray here because we want it to stay crunchy. There we go. Okay. Okay. So I want that pan to be nice and hot. I'm going to take my ananato oil that I made the other day. And this is a 2 tablespoon measure. So I'm going to do 2 of these. You can do 3 to 4 tablespoons of the oil. I'm going to do about 4. Ooh, yeah, baby.
Please don't test it with your hand.
Nice. All right. Because you love me?
I don't want to pay for the emergency.
Yeah. Aye. Okay, we've got 2 tablespoons of the oil. First thing we're going to do, onions. Okay, but I do want this to be hot. Nice and hot. And I am going to need my spoon. There it is. Okay. Okay, we're looking good there. Nice and hot. And we're going to put that baby in there. Look at that gorgeous color, will you? That is from the ananato oil. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we just let it sit there for a minute. Now, we want our onions to be sauteed, but we don't want them to be so cooked that they're like, soft. We still want that firmness. We want that nice bite. So when you eat the fish, you're going to have that nice crunch in your onion. By the way, I chopped my ají amarillo, so that's going to go in a minute. Okay. Nice and high. Can you hear that sizzle? That's a beautiful sound, that sizzle. Okay. They're kind of separated, which is perfect, because we don't want them to be in clumps. We want them to be separated. Okay. Now we are going to add our ají amarillo. Do a couple tosses here and there. It's going to cook fast because it was frozen. I don't have the fresh ones right now. Okay. We're going to add our salt, a couple of rounds of pinches, some pepper, one. I'm not even left-handed. Okay. All right. Then we're going to do our paprika. It's a little bit more than a teaspoon. It's probably 2 teaspoons. I'm going to do like a teaspoon. And same with our cumin. And give it a couple of stirs. Okay, then we're going to do our tomato paste. Come on. Doesn't want to come out. No laughing at me. Okay. There we go. We're going to add our tomatoes. You don't want the tomatoes in there long, because apparently heirloom tomatoes are very delicate. And it's not going to take them long to...
They're like you, they're delicate.
What? Yeah, delicate as an ox. Okay. There we go. Now, look at how fast this is coming together. And the color is just absolutely amazing. Our tomatoes are just ever so gently being sauteed. Whoop, just lost one. This is red wine vinegar. Now, Mom says you can use red wine vinegar or you can use lemon juice. I happen to love red wine vinegar, so I'm using red wine vinegar. But it's really up to your taste.
You've never used lemon juice in the 30 years you've been married.
Well. Now, you see how it's kind of creating a little bit of a sauce there? That is gorgeous. And our tomatoes are still fully intact. They're just heating slightly. And now we're going to turn it off. And we are going to plate. So what we're going to do to finish off this dish is we have some beautiful parsley from the garden. Now, is this heirloom?
Yes, it is.
Everything's heirloom, apparently. That's hilarious. Okay, yes, gorgeous.
Only the best for you.
Only the best for me. Thank you, babe.
That part out.
I love what? I love you. I mean,
You're mean.
you're gonna edit that part out?
I'm editing.
Don't do that. Come on. That's hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna finish chopping our parsley as garnish. He makes me laugh so hard. Okay. Okay, we're almost there. Let me just get a little fine chop on this. And we're just, as you can see, we don't have very much here. We're just going to do a little bit for a little garnish. Okay, there we go. So now we are going to plate our dish. So, yes, my hands are clean. I just washed them. So we're going to put our beautiful fish over here.
Seems like less fish than you started with.
You know, funny thing about that, I went to move my fish over to the counter and I was using a towel and it caught on the stove and dumped 2 pieces of fish on the floor. Puppies, you're welcome, because they ran over and ate it. That's exciting. Okay, so note to self, don't do that when you're having a dinner party. Okay, so now we have our gorgeous sauce over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to ladle our sauce.
Maybe bring the pan over.
The pan's not in the shot, apparently. Okay, there we go. How's that? Is that better? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we are going to ladle our sauce onto our fish. A little escapee there. And check this out.
So colorful.
It is absolutely delicious. It smells amazing. I wish that you could smell this because it is absolutely fantastico. And we're going to put some of our sauce. And look at tomatoes are just so gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And we want the onion. And we're gonna put a few more tomatoes on there. And we're gonna smother the fish. So fish, I love you, but you're getting smothered because that's how we roll over here. And we're gonna put a little towel. And we're just gonna clean up our plate because, you know, I think Gordon Ramsay would have a cow if we didn't clean our plate. So we're going to clean our plate over here. There we go. Hey, stop it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we want a pretty dish. There we go. And then we take our fresh heirloom parsley and we're going to just very gently put it on top like that and just make it absolutely gorgeous, as if you could get more gorgeous than you are already. There we are. Okay, now what is the secret here? We're going to just very strategically, we're going to put some beautiful, look at these, they're purple Peruvian olives from the Latino store, Hispanic stores.
I bet you they're not heirloom.
I bet you they're not either. And these, you know what, these, they've already seeded. I don't like these. I mean, these are seeded. I like the ones with the pit still inside. I don't know why. I know it's a choking hazard, but I was raised on the ones with pit. Now they're making them without the pit. They're just not as pretty. I don't know. I'm not happy with it. Okay. And then I have, of course, my little dish over here. This is for moi. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to do it like a touch more parsley because there we go. So this is the dish that we're going to serve everybody. And this is the dish that is for the chef, that is for cooking.
Would you just taste it?
Okay, I'll taste it. All right. Now, I really need to have like a spoon as well so I can get all this fabulous sauce. But what I'm going to do is make the perfect bite because we cannot taste this without the perfect bite. So now we got to put some onion and some tomato. And we're going to, oh my God. Okay, that looks amazing. Cha-cha-cha. Oh my gosh. This is so good. Wow. So I got some of this fish. Those onions are crunchy. I can hear them when I'm chewing. Nice and crunchy. Okay. 1 second here. It's amazing, okay? Okay. My friends, you have to make this dish. It is absolutely fantastic. You're gonna love it. It is delicious. And you can make it earlier in the day before people come over and just have it sitting gorgeously on the counter before you serve while you're doing other things. Anyway, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, don't just eat your food. Love it. Ciao.